Hello. So I am going to be talking about data access, storage, and the use of a data portfolio. I chose the student Kent, and I created a student portfolio for his data collection, as well as a IEP at a glance, and a list of his modifications and accommodations, as well as a communication log with the stakeholders and a data tracking log for each of his IEP goals. So I want to talk about how Kent's data portfolio is going to be stored. Kent's portfolio is going to be stored in a locked filing cabinet inside the special education office or classroom for physical copies. And then for digital, we will also have a digital file, being that I created this digitally. We will also have a digital file that will be in a password protected shared drive folder that will only allow access to those who are who is it's reasonable to have access to this information. So obviously the special education teacher, the SPED case manager, the general education teachers who are working directly with Kent, and service providers such as counselor, behavior therapist, specialist, and any other staff that have direct contact in working with Kent. As for paras, I believe that they will have access to helping with data collection, so they'll have access looking at his goals and an IEP at a glance, but they won't have access to the full file, if that makes sense. As far as tracking his goals, there will be a digital access to the logs, and where we can again have the access to upload files and track those goals. My plan is to create a QR code specifically for our paras who are working, or service providers who are working with Kent, and to be able to get into that shared drive that is password protected, to be able to quickly log into his specific QR code, and that way they can click in digitally and upload the files, or they can go in and update his progress. This document does require that we maintain legal compliance under FERPA, which protects Kent's educational records, and IDEA, which protects his disability-related data, goals, and evaluation information. The data portfolio that I created consists of several different components, and each of them have a specific purpose. So I do have the profile sheet. So basically I'll have a title page that will say this this specific portfolio does belong to Kent, and then there will be his basically like a small portfolio, who Kent is. It'll just provide a quick overview, his functioning level, his program supports, his at-home factors, and then this sheet specifically can be used by service providers and teachers to understand his background. And it'll also summarize his IEP. There will be a whole portion for an IEP at a glance. It'll go over his present levels. It'll go over his it summarizes his goals, accommodations, and modifications. And it'll summarize the general education teacher, service providers, and that way we can easily reference this in order to track for those goals. There will also be goal tracking sheets for each goal. It's not just one tracking sheet. There will be a tracking sheet for each specific goal. So I believe he has 4 goals. He has a reading goal, 2 math goals, and a behavior goal. So each of those has its own specific tracking sheet. Lastly, it will have a communication log that we can all use to record our interactions with one another, the stakeholders, the team, the parents, service providers, and administrators. And this is going to help ensure compliance and transparency. And that way it's easier to keep everybody on the same page. And if something does arise, we can quickly go back and check or change what we need to. Altogether, the portfolio ensures data-driven instruction, legally defensible decisions, and consistent team communication. Thank you.